This week I've reread the book The Power of Habits by Charles Duhigg. Why we do what we do in life and business. Have you ever decided to quit smoking or ditch junk food? At first, it's smooth sailing and you're proud of your progress. Yet, out of the blue, cravings surge and you're back to square one, trapped in old routines. Does this ring a bell? If it does, you're familiar with the might of habits. But what's the source of their influence? In these excerpts, we'll uncover that habits run deep within our brains and minds, shaping our lives in countless ways. While they simplify our daily existence, just imagine having to figure out how to open a door every single time. They can also create issues, even wreak havoc on lives. The good news is that by grasping the mechanics of habits, you can diminish their hold over you. So let's embark on a journey into the realm of habits, learning how they function and how we can regain control. Before we begin, we release fresh content every week. Don't miss out. Hit that subscribe button and enable notifications for the latest summaries. Our videos might be a tad longer, but that's because we're dedicated to delivering full book insights. So, be sure to watch till the end. Let's dive in. Extract 1. Easy Loops. How Habits Save Effort with Cues and Rewards. During the 1990s, scientists at MIT were observing mice to understand how habits form in the brain. These mice were navigating a T-shaped maze to find a piece of chocolate. By using special tools, the researchers could watch the brain activity of the mice as they followed the scent to the chocolate. At the start, when the mice entered the maze, their brain activity got really high. They could smell the chocolate and began looking for it. But something interesting happened when the experiment was repeated. As the mice learned where the chocolate was and remembered how to reach it, going straight and then left, their brain activity decreased. This process of making a series of actions into a regular routine is called chunking. It's the foundation of all habits. This is important for saving energy and doing everyday tasks more efficiently. Even complex tasks, like finding chocolate in a maze or driving out of the driveway, become easy habits. About 40% of our daily actions are habit-based, as stated in a 2006 paper from Duke University. Habits follow a 3-step pattern. First, you notice a cue, like your alarm ringing. Second, you do the usual routine, like brushing your teeth. Third, you feel rewarded and successful, like the fresh feeling after brushing. Habits are strong. Even with brain damage, people can stick to their habits. For example, Eugene, who had brain damage, could still get nuts from the kitchen when hungry. Habits form in the basal ganglia, deep in the brain. This makes them durable. But it also means even after quitting a bad habit, like smoking, you might still go back to it. Extract 2. Why habits? Stay, the role of craving. Imagine this situation. Every day for the past year, you've bought and eaten a tasty chocolate chip cookie full of sugar from the cafeteria at your workplace. You view it as a treat after a day of hard work. However, some friends have mentioned that you've gained weight. So, you decide to break the habit. But how do you think you'll feel on that first day when you pass by the cafeteria without getting a cookie? Chances are you might either eat just one more cookie or you'll go home feeling grumpy. It's tough to stop a bad habit because you start desiring the reward you get at the end of the habit cycle. Research from the 1990s done by a scientist named Wolfram Schultz explains how this works in the brain. He studied a monkey named Julio who was learning different tasks. In one experiment, when Julio pulled a lever upon seeing coloured shapes on a screen, he got a drop of blackberry juice, which he liked, through a tube. At first, Julio didn't pay much attention to the screen. But when he pulled the lever at the right time and got the blackberry juice, his brain activity showed he felt really good. As Julio learned that pulling the lever after seeing the shapes led to the blackberry juice reward, he not only stared at the screen, but his brain activity spiked when the shapes appeared, even before he got the reward. This spike showed his brain was expecting the reward. This expectation is what creates the feeling of wanting something and explains why habits are so strong. Schultz changed the experiment. Now, when Julio pulled the lever, either no juice came or diluted juice came out. Julio's brain showed patterns linked to wanting and being disappointed. Julio got sad when he didn't get the reward, just like you might if you skipped your cherished end-of-the-day cookie. The good news is that wanting something works for forming good habits too. A study from 2002 showed that people who exercise regularly actually desire something from the exercise, like a good feeling in the brain, a sense of achievement, or a treat they allow themselves later. This desire cements the habit. Just cues and rewards are not sufficient. Given how influential habits are, it's not surprising that companies try hard to understand and create these desires in consumers. Claude Hopkins, who made Pepsodent toothpaste popular, was a pioneer in this. He gave a reward that made people want more, the cool, tingly feeling that toothpaste gives. This feeling not only convinced people the product worked, it also became a real reward they started to want. Extract 3. Swap your habits moves and embrace the change. When you're trying to quit something like smoking, you know how tough it is to ignore those strong urges for nicotine. Here's a simple rule for breaking any habit. Instead of fighting the urge, find a different way. Keep the same triggers and rewards, but change what you do in response. Research on people who used to smoke shows that by figuring out what makes them want to smoke and replacing the smoking with something similar but healthier, like doing exercises, chewing Nicorette gum, or taking a short break, they have a much better chance of staying smoke-free. Alcoholics Anonymous, AA, a group that helps people stop drinking, uses a similar approach, and it's really effective. They ask members to list what they like about drinking, and it's usually about relaxing and being with others rather than just getting drunk. AA then suggests new things to do that meet those needs, like attending meetings and talking to friends. The goal is to swap the harmful habit with a better one. However, research on AA members found that this way works well in general, but it's not always enough. When things get tough, like a stressful event, people can fall back into old habits. For instance, someone who had stopped drinking for years started again when their mom got sick. They went to a bar and kept drinking for a long time. More research shows that those who stay strong and don't go back to their old habits often have a strong belief system. This is why AA talks about spirituality and God. It's not only about religion, but also about believing that change is possible. This belief helps them stay strong even when life gets hard. Extract 4. Creating change, harnessing Keystone habits and celebrating small victories. When Paul O'Neill, a former government worker, became the CEO of a struggling company called Alcoa in 1987, many people were unsure if he could help. At an important meeting with investors in a fancy hotel, he surprised everyone. Instead of talking about making money, he said he wanted to focus on keeping the workers safe. One investor thought he was strange and told others that he might ruin the company. O'Neill spoke to the unsure investors and explained his idea. He believed that just talking about safety wouldn't really make a difference. He knew that for big changes to happen, the company needed new habits. He understood that some habits are really important, like Keystone habits. These habits have positive effects that spread to other areas. By making safety the most important thing, managers and workers had to think about how to make work safer. This led to better ways of doing things and more profit. Even though investors were worried, O'Neill's plan worked. By the time he left in 2000, the company was making 5 times more money. Keystone habits can help people change too. For example, when doctors wanted overweight people to be healthier, they found that focusing on one habit, like keeping a food journal, helped other good habits grow. Keystone habits make you feel successful and show you can make other changes in life too. It's like a small win that starts a big chain of good changes. Extract 5. Supercharge your life, the mighty keystone of willpower. During the 1960s, scientists at Stanford University did a famous study. They brought a bunch of 4-year-old kids, one at a time, into a room. Inside, there was a table with a marshmallow on it. A person told each child they had a choice: eat the marshmallow now, or wait a bit and get 2 marshmallows later. Then, the person left for 15 minutes. Only around 30% of the kids could resist eating the marshmallow while the person was gone. The interesting part is what happened later. When the researchers found those same kids, who were now grown-ups, they saw that the ones who waited patiently for the 15 minutes had done better in school, were more liked by others, and were less likely to have problems with drugs. It turned out that self-control, or willpower, was like a really important habit that affected other parts of their lives too. Later studies showed similar things. For example, in 2005, a study on 8th graders revealed that kids with more self-control got better grades and had a better chance of getting into good schools. But here's the thing. Willpower is kind of like a muscle. It can get tired. If you use it up at work, maybe by working really hard on something boring, you might not have any left when you get home. But the cool part is that you can make it stronger. If you do things that need self-control, like sticking to a strict diet, your willpower can get better, just like exercising a muscle. Other stuff can affect your willpower too. Like at Starbucks, employees could smile and be nice even when they didn't feel like it. But when things got tough, they sometimes couldn't stay calm. Research showed that if they got ready for tough situations and knew what to do, they could keep their self-control. Starbucks made a plan called the latte method to help them. Listen, acknowledge, take action, thank, and explain. By doing this a lot, employees could learn how to stay calm even when things were hard. Some studies also found that if people do things because they're told to, not because they want to, their self-control gets used up faster. Extract 6. A crisis that alters organizational habits. In 1987, something important happened at King's Cross Station in London. A person told a worker they saw burning paper near an escalator, but the worker didn't do anything. They thought it was not their job to deal with it. This was not surprising. People at the London Underground had clear jobs, and they didn't cross into other people's areas. There were many bosses and sub-bosses in charge, and they guarded their power. The 20,000 workers knew to stay in their own areas. Most organizations are like this. People fight for power and rewards. So, to keep things peaceful, we get used to habits like not getting involved in others' matters. Later, a big fireball exploded in the ticket hall, but nobody knew how to stop it or had permission to use fire extinguishers. Rescuers came after many failed attempts by workers, but it was too late. People were seriously hurt and 31 died. The problem was that no one at the London Underground was fully in charge of safety, even with their complicated system. But even bad things can lead to positive changes. Crises can help change how organizations work. Good leaders sometimes make crises last longer. When investigating the fire, Desmond Fennell found ideas to make things safer, but they were ignored. Fennell caused a big fuss to make changes happen. Now, each station has a manager in charge of passenger safety. Extract 7. A crisis that alters organizational habits. Imagine walking into your local supermarket. What do you see first? Probably fresh fruits and vegetables stacked neatly. But there's something interesting about this arrangement. Normally, delicate fruits and veggies should be closer to the checkout to prevent damage, but marketers have a clever plan. They know that when we start by filling our carts with healthy items, we're more likely to grab snacks and cookies later. Retailers use smart tactics to guide your shopping. Did you know most people turn right when entering a store? That's why valuable items are on the right side. However, these strategies are general and don't consider individual shoppers. But technology changed the game. Target, a major American store, is a pro at this. It studies your shopping habits using data. In the 2000s, Target targeted a profitable group, new parents. To stand out, they wanted to reach expecting parents. So, they studied what pregnant women buy. They even sent baby-related offers to a teen who hadn't told her family. Oops. But Target learned and mixed baby offers with normal ones. Companies make new things feel familiar to sell them, just like radio DJs play new songs between hits. Target faced criticism for spying, but made lots of money. By targeting expecting parents, its earnings went from $44 billion in 2002 to $65 billion in 2009. Extract 8. Creating change through close bonds, peer influence, and fresh habits. In 1955, a black lady named Rosa Parks did not want to give up her seat on a bus for a white man in Montgomery, Alabama. She got arrested and charged with a crime, and what happened next made her very important in the fight for equal rights. Even though many others had already been arrested for the same reason as Rosa Parks, her case became the most well-known. But why did her arrest start a bus boycott that went on for more than a year? First, Rosa Parks was really liked in her community and had lots of different friends. She was part of many groups and knew all kinds of people, from teachers to farm workers. For example, she worked as a secretary for a local group fighting for equal rights, and she was active in a youth organization at a church near her home. She also helped poor families by making clothes for them, and she even adjusted dresses for young girls from rich white families. She was so involved in her community that her husband would joke that she ate at potluck meals more than at home. Rosa Parks had strong connections with lots of people from different parts of her community. These connections helped her when she got arrested, and they also spread news about her arrest to many people in Montgomery. But her friends alone couldn't keep the boycott going for a long time. This is where peer pressure comes in. Besides strong connections, there are also weaker connections with people you know a little bit, not really as close friends. Peer pressure mostly happens through these weaker connections. When a person's bigger group of friends and acquaintances support a cause, it's harder to not be a part of it. As time passed, fewer people in the black community wanted to keep boycotting because the city made it harder by creating new carpooling rules. This is when the final piece was added, a speech by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. He talked about not being violent and forgiving those who treated them badly. Because of this speech, people started doing new things like organizing church meetings and peaceful protests. They made the movement grow stronger all by themselves. Extract 9. Taking charge of changing our habits. In 2008, something tragic happened. Brian Thomas choked his wife until she passed away. He felt really sad about it and quickly told the police. They accused him of murder. He said he wasn't in control because he had sleep terrors. Experts have studied this. When you have sleep terrors, your brain kind of shuts off and only the basic parts stay awake. Instead of sleepwalking, where people might get out of bed and do things during sleep terrors, the brain is more primitive. Because of this, Thomas believed he was saving his wife from a robber. He thought he was defending her from danger. His lawyers argued in court that his brain just reacted without him thinking. It was like a habit. Around the same time, a woman named Angie Bachman got into trouble. A big casino company called Harrah's sued her for $500,000 in gambling debts. She had already lost her home and a lot of money from gambling. In court, Bachman said she was stuck in a habit. Gambling made her feel good. So when Harrah's sent her nice invitations to their casino, she couldn't say no, even though Harrah's knew she had a gambling problem. In the end, Thomas was found not guilty. People felt sorry for him, but Bachman lost her case and people were really angry with her. Both of them said, "It wasn't me, it was my habits." So why did only one of them get off the hook? The answer is, when we realize we have a bad habit, it's our job to fix it. Thomas didn't know he would hurt anyone while sleeping. But Bachman knew she liked to gamble too much. She could have joined a program to stop casinos from inviting her. Final summary. And that wraps up our audiobook summary of The Power of Habits by Charles Duhigg. In these insightful extracts, we've discovered that habits are integral not only to our personal lives, but also to organizations and businesses. Remember, all habits consist of a cue routine reward loop. If you're looking to make a change, consider swapping out the routine while keeping the cue and reward intact. And don't forget, embracing Keystone habits like building willpower can lead to significant positive shifts in your life. Here's a practical tip to take away. Start your day by making your bed. As you've learned, not all habits are created equal. Some hold more power than others. One exceptional keystone habit you can easily adopt is the simple act of making your bed each morning. Surprisingly, this small action has been proven to enhance your overall well-being and skyrocket your productivity. Thank you for tuning in and immersing yourself in these invaluable insights from The Power of Habits. If you found this summary helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more transformative takeaways. Keep nurturing those positive habits and remember that every small step counts on your journey to a better you.